Welcome to Not Like This. Not Like This. From professional wrestling, horror films, and everything in between. Strap in. And now your hosts, Dale Zawada and Jim Snedeker Jr.
Welcome to Not Like This. I'm Dale Zawada with Jim Snedeker Jr. Jim, it was a beautiful day today.
It was beautiful. Beautiful last couple of days. Just each one got more and more beautiful.
I can't believe it. I saw it coming. I saw the weather forecast and I said, all right, yeah, you're saying it's going to be 60 now. We'll see on the day. It's going to be like, oh, sorry, 40 and raining. But no, came true. It was 60s. I went out. I bought a new basketball and I played basketball. And it was, it was so good to just get out. I didn't realize how bad I needed to get outside.
I saw your Instagram photo of that old Nets looking.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sending them. I'm gonna be contacting them.
You're like, look, I'm swishing so much out here, it's wearing out your net.
It's on fire. I had to do that last time. I was just like, so do you want the money for it? Because
I'll buy it if you just like climb on the ladder for me.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a basketball rim that doesn't have a net, or even has it. Like having the shitty net's almost worse. Because I'm like, well, I don't know what you're gonna do.
And it gets caught in there, it gets caught on the way out.
It's not very satisfying.
I don't know. I did all the F noises. It gets caught and fall.
Because we're testing audio here.
Test. Yeah, that net needs replacement. He's heating up. The net's too hot.
I had to do that last time. I was such a Karen. I was just like, all right, who do I have to contact?
Oh, God. I didn't know you've already done it once. You want me to call?
This is Dale. This is like, Jeff Schmansky.
This is Jail Zamata. I need to talk to you about this net. Well, it was like a couple years of how that net looked, which it wasn't good. And I was like, all right. Like, maybe they just don't know. So I was like, hey, that's not looking too good. And they did fix it. It took a little time, but they fixed it. And I'm just gonna get the ball rolling on that one again.
Oh, they already came out and fixed it once, and it's all fucked up again?
Yeah, look, yeah. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing. Are they playing a lot of basketball on it though?
Maybe they can't. Maybe some of these kids can't dunk, and they're like, "I can get to the net. Let me just hang on the net."
Oh yeah. Oh, that's tragic. I just thought about that. It's probably kids. You blame everything on kids. He shouts too.
Well, they stole a mask and were huffing glue, so it sounds like kids to me.
Yeah, and they lit a basketball net on fire. Who do you think it was? He must have been draining so many threes it actually caught on fire in real life.
Fire.
Yeah, right, I saw that. That's it made me remember all the fun we had playing hoops. And then I thought, you know what?
That old blue.
Maybe this summer people will be vaccinated enough. Because I will be.
Good.
I got my shot on Saturday. God damn it. I'm doing my part.
Damn it. Was it the Johnson & Johnson's?
No, I got to get a good one. I got the Moderna.
Is Johnson & Johnson not a good one?
I'm just teasing. It's just the last one that got approved.
Oh. So with the Johnson & Johnson, I heard that, like, you know how you have to get it twice?
Yeah.
The J&J, it's just one and done.
Yeah, which makes which I guess would be nice unless it's bad. Then it's probably terrible.
Well, then I'd assume they'd make you do two. I'm sure I hope there's a reason for the one.
Well, I think they're just packing them all into one shot, all the antibodies.
Oh, yeah. Give me a double. Single or a double? Double, please. I don't want to see you ever again.
It's like, do you want to come back in a month, or do you want this to be rough?
Oh, God, give me rough. I'd be like, you know what? I might miss a couple days here because of this vaccine. I think the doctor said like a week and a half, this Johnson & Johnson. So
I would have gotten a Johnson. I would have got whatever they.
Yeah.
I was already getting my arm swabbed, and I was like, which one is this again? I don't give a shit which one it is.
Madonna.
Give me one. Right. Give me one of them.
Give me one in each arm.
You know, I don't normally have a rough reaction to vaccines, but this one was a little rough. Arm.
Well, that's what they say.
Hurts really bad, which it doesn't normally. It's okay now. I'm fine now. I'll be fine tomorrow too. But I got it Saturday. Sunday I felt a little run down. My arm hurt really bad. This morning I felt like I had the flu. And now I feel okay. So it was very delayed. When Chris got it, the very next day she felt like crap. She didn't have that lag period in between.
Yeah, your body's so mangled it had to course its way through all the twisted fucking.
Yeah, I got an endoscopy coming up. They got to peek down in my stomach and see what the fuck is going on with that.
There's a gremlin in there.
The doctor's like spasming. No, it shouldn't be spasms. We gotta look at this.
Your throat is spasming. Get a cam show.
It's my esophagus.
Mm-hmm. There's a fetish for that.
So Friday was the dentist. And they were like, "Oh, I think you got TMJ in your jaw. I think you probably have an arthritic jaw joint." I'm like, "Oh, great." And then Saturday was get the vaccine, and then today was go to the doctor.
Get it all in.
Get it all in. Yeah, it's like you take your car in. You're like, do the tires, the oil, get it all done.
I'm about to do my seasonal.
I'm about to be vaxxed up. I need this to be a good summer.
Yeah. What's TMJ? Too much jaw? The fuck is too?
I don't know what it stands for.
Then why are you like, I got that TMJ?
That's what they told. Know what that is. They told me, Dale. They're the professionals. It's the jaw joint, and they basically said if you grind your teeth and you're clenching your jaw in your sleep, it'll hurt more in the morning. If it hurts more at night, it's from you opening your jaw, like to talk or eat or whatever. You'd have to be eating a lot, I guess. Like my mouth is always open eating.
I'm so sore.
But I have to talk a lot at work, and I talk and I sing.
Do you?
Yeah, and I sing, and we do this podcast, and I'm not usually quiet when we play video games.
No,
and so it hurts more at night. And the dentist said you need to see this jaw specialist guy, and they're going to look at that
Luger treatment.
Here's what I don't like, Dale. What are they going to do? I'm going to go to this specialist. He's going to take an x-ray. He's going to move my jaw around and poke his little finger in there. And you know what he's going to say?
He's going to jack it around. What's he going to say?
He's going to say, yeah, you got like a little bit of minor arthritis in your jaw. They're not going to fix it. They're not going to like give me a new jaw.
No, just another drug for your collection.
Maybe, if I'm lucky. I doubt that. And I have beer. I don't need your fancy drugs, doctor. I got beer.
They say drown jaw pain.
Yeah. What is it they say? Drink no matter what we're talking about.
Drink the pain away. Simple.
They say drought a cold, starve a fever. They say any excuse for me to drink right now is what they say. I'll make it work. I'll make the little limerick work.
I think that was a Miller Lite thing. Yeah, drown a cold. Yeah.
Miller Lite. So,
Jim, I have a question for you. Did you see it?
I don't think I did, because you're talking about the exploding deathmatch of bombs.
AEW Revolution, did you see it?
I didn't see it.
All right.
What did I miss? Tell me what I missed.
Here we go. You missed AEW Revolution 2021. Very good pay-per-view, top to bottom.
Is this their WrestleMania?
I don't think so. I think Double or Nothing is their WrestleMania, because that was their first one. So that's the one. Okay. But it was just a really good pay-per-view, some titles, some ladder matches, a battle royal, just a little bit of everything, which is great. But of course, the main event is what I wanted. Barbed wire, exploding ring death match. Oh, that's what I love. Give me that violence. Give me that Terry Funk, Mr. Pogo shit. You know?
I gotta ask.
Yes.
In your estimation, before we get into the match, how much of them knowing how mad Jim Cornette would be was a factor? Exploding barbed wire deathmatch, Japanese Tokyo Dome bullshit.
I don't know. I don't know his stance on death matches.
He doesn't like them.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, all right. You've heard him say such.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm not surprised, but part of me wouldn't have been surprised if he's just like, that's a special thing. They do it right. And these backyarders aren't going to fucking do that. Like, it's AEW doing it, so he was going to shit on it anyway. But right. Okay, yeah, so he just doesn't like them.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're like, he's going to. Oh, you know what would really make him mad? Let's have an exploding barbed wire death match. And I know you were thinking, like, I'm sure they're not doing their programming just to make Jim Cornette mad. But if you were them, why not? Wouldn't that entertain the shit out of you?
That should be like on their checklist. Like, do we have a segment that's going to piss off Cornette? All right.
Piss him off more. It's really fun.
Awesome. All right. He's in a bunny suit. Sweet. That's the one. That's for Jim. So let me lay out the landscape here at the ringside. So you've seen their stage. They got the ramp, and you kind of just, the ropes are right there and everything.
Yep.
So on that side, the ropes were regular. The other three sides, the ropes were barbed wire, triggered with the explosive. So if you got like Irish whipped into it or something, it was going to hurt and do a little explosion. Nothing crazy. It's professional wrestling. If you've ever seen a death match, it's like a stunt show. It's mostly show. Maybe you get a little singe or something, but it's so visually fun. So that's what you have with the ring ropes. Now, on the outside,
is there reasoning because you need to enter the ring, so we need to have a side that's not explodey?
Potentially they kayfabed it.
Yeah, I want the kayfabe reason.
So yeah, this is Kenny Omega, the champion. Now he's a heel, full blown heel. I love it. And he's fighting Jon Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, who was the champ. And boy, these guys just don't like each other. They had like a mini death match before. It was like a spider web, barbed wire match, whatever. But this is, the real deal. And Kenny Omega challenged him to it. He says, like, I'm going to construct it. So this was Kenny Omega's like version of it. So, I mean, I'm sure that was the practical reason, because like we need fucking to get in and stuff, and so like we can do some rope spots, but kayfabe wise, it's like because Kenny Omega made it, and that's just what he wanted to do, and that might play a part into some things later. On the outside of the ring, on each side they're like little like boards with barbed wire on it, and underneath those are explosive charges. So if you take like a back body drop on that, it's going to hurt and it's going to explode a little bit. And it's super fun. And it's a 30-minute match. At the 30-minute mark, the ring's going to explode. So the match is going on, and they milk it pretty good early. Then you get your first barbed wire rope spot, and it's awesome, huge pop. And they continue to, they make the rounds. They have their match, and it's awesome. There's a lot of blood. People getting stuck to barbed wire, which is one of my favorite things. Oh, I love when it's just peels the skin and rips the clothes. But pretty. Oh, it does. But pretty good match, and they do some run-in stuff, which I know it's. I don't need gimmicks on top of gimmicks. It's like a lot of people are talking about this match right now, and it's not about that. That's like my biggest complaint. Like, we didn't need the run-in shit. Because Kenny Omega gets help from his Bullet Club buddies, Luke Gallows and other guy, little guy. And they help Kenny win. And they also do a really cool spot. No one's talking about this either. So Kenny Omega's finisher, the one-winged angel. Are you familiar with this? Have you seen this?
I think I know the V trigger.
It's the knee. He loves doing the knees. This is where he gets you on the shoulders, and then he like reaches up and like hooks your head and does like a little Michinoku kind of driver sort of slam. It's really cool. Yes. It's a super cool move. Nobody's ever kicked out of it.
Ever?
Which is, I think one guy has done it, Ibushi, and it's a very special thing. It's one of the most protected finishers of all time. And they did a really cool spot where he he hits the move on Moxley, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is way too, like this is not the finish. And they're about to put Moxley over huge here. He's going to be the second guy in history to kick out of this move. And it's 1, 2, and with his foot, he kicks the bottom rope and triggers the explosion, and that kind of stops the count and breaks up the pin attempt. Now he didn't kick out, and the announcers were very clear on that. But I thought that was just a super clever way of getting that spot in.
So did it work because Kenny Omega like sold the explosion and like jumped off of him?
Okay. He sold it. The ref sold it. Like I think Kenny was doing a lot of it's in my fucking eyes, like that, which is good stuff. And we get this back and forth affair, and then around 25 minutes or so, that's when the Bullet Club friends come in and they help Kenny Omega seal the deal. That was the One-Winged Angel onto an open chair.
Ooh,
that was gnarly. It wasn't open by when the move was done. That was a rough one. I think Moxley lost a tooth about halfway through as well.
Ooh.
Like everything about this matches me, and I loved it. And so Kenny Omega retains in this barbed wire exploding ring death match, and they give him a beat down after. You fuck you, and then they handcuff him because the ring is still gonna explode. And they've got these like sirens.
That's what I read. That like part of the gimmick of this match is after a certain time limit, the ring will explode.
Yeah, and I thought that they would kind of like that would play a part into like the actual finish, but the exploding ring part was like well after the match was officially over. Like the champion retained, and he wasn't even fucking out there when the ring exploded because Moxley's out in the middle of the ring, handcuffed. You know, barely alive. Visuals, and here's what we're gonna do, Jim.
Okay.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to link you in our Discord, and I will also have this on facebook.com/notlikeThisPodcast under this episode, so you can kind of follow along. We're gonna watch the one of my favorite exploding ring spots. It's FMW, Terry Funk, Mr. Pogo, Hayabusa, and Masato Tanaka. FMW, one of my favorite feds because they did this shit like every other day, and I loved it. So let's just watch that one real quick. Fire it up whenever you're ready.
I'm firing it up.
So we have a baseline here.
Oh.
So that,
a lot of big plumes of white smoke. That's effective.
You got to have that show business. Show business.
Ooh. Oh no.
I just love seeing these
guys. Good Lord.
Oh my God. Oh, those are some.
He's just covered in smoke. He just gets down. Oh my God.
And then the ring explodes. The countdown finishes. Big bada boom. Big bada boom.
Yeah. And a lot of blood and ash.
Yeah.
On this other guy here.
The aftermath.
Masato Tanaka, man. When is this from? Early 2000s?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe early 2000s.
Wow.
Which isn't that great. I love that.
Hayabusa so this is Hayabusa got permanently crippled, didn't he?
Yeah.
I guess you don't say crippled. Permanently hurt?
No. Somebody at work says gimpy all the time. Like, you're gimpy. And I'm like, I understand that, but I understand people might be offended by that. So now that we have a baseline of exploding ring on what people are expecting, let's see this. Let's see what AEW had to bring. There it is for you.
Eddie Kingston! Oh, I gotta mute that. Okay.
Oh, yeah, pretty loud, huh? I'll set the scene because it takes a second. So Moxley's fucked up. You got your countdown in the back. Eddie Kingston is a friend and enemy. He's going to come out and try to, hey, you got to get out of here.
A friend and enemy of him?
Yeah.
Of Moxley?
Yeah, they got a history, to say the least.
He just doesn't want him to die in the explosion?
Yeah, and he's going to do a little sacrifice spot, so let's watch the rest of it here.
The fuck was that?
You're not impressed by that?
Hold on. Is it over? Hold on.
He's dead. They're both dead.
What the fuck was what did I just watch?
You watched the little sparkler show.
I'm watching the first one again.
You watched Tony Khan go to CVS and get all the fireworks they had and said, this is going to be for our exploding ring match.
You know what I think it is? They probably are like, well, we can't do that because what they did is illegal here in the United States or something, or like.
Well, then you don't do it. Or
I agree with you. Or this looks way cooler. I'm watching it again.
Go for it. I was going to rant a little bit here because I love AEW, but this was unfortunate.
Down for? Holy shit! Okay,
what you getting down for?
Well, yeah,
and like in that FMW one, you know, obviously some big explosions, but the smoke is key. You know, it's a visual medium, folks. So
and they all
have that going on.
They all go off at once. There's big plumes of smoke, and you see some fire in the pyro.
Yeah, there's no spin wheels going off first before a little
fucking like sparklers on the ring posts in the other one, in the AEW one.
Now I'm sure the AEW one, I'm sure it was loud. I'm sure it was like maybe powerful, and there was a lot of heat. Visually, it was obviously hot garbage, and the poor guys in the ring who are opting to sell the exploding ring. That's just so unfortunate.
It's hard to sell that. And now Moxley has it easy because he just got a beat down. But this other guy, what's his name? Eddie Kingston. He's got to sell that like he's hurt by that explosion. And
he's selling it like he was in the first video we watched. And if that's the sell job, that's fine. Like that's literally what the guys in the first video are doing. They're just laying there dead. Now, unfortunately, like he doesn't know because he's doing the whole like I'm sacrificing myself for you, even though you're my enemy, but we're kind of friends. And I don't know. But his head's down, so he doesn't see how shady it was.
Good point.
So he's just doing his goddamn job. Unfortunately, you know, the refs aren't like, oh, Eddie, it was dog shit. You come to, Eddie, come to. Guys, it didn't.
Yeah, unsell
guys, do you hear the boos? Like AEW fans, like they're hardcore, they're, you know, all that smarks sort of thing. Like they'll pop for everything for you. When they're booing your shit, something has gone awry. Like you gotta, it's just so painful. This is only the second time I've watched it, just for the podcast. I'll never watch that clip again.
It is cringy.
It's too cringy. Yes,
it is cringy. I would only watch it if I was showing someone else.
And now Tony Khan, I believe, said, well, you know, they were like, was that an accident? Was there a misfire? Like what? And he essentially said that was kind of how it was supposed to go. What did you think we were going to, you know, blow up the ring and fucking kill people? Which goes back to well, then don't do it. Or at least don't do that part. Like the match up until this moment, fucking, for me, 5 stars, but that's because I like the violence. And nobody's ever going to talk about the match. No one's ever going to, damn it. They're only going to talk about this part.
I think this is
because the match is over, and I legit thought we were done. I was like, oh, the match is over before the 30 minutes, which saves them from the explosion. Like in my mind, that's what was happening. And then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, the ring's still going to explode, which was honestly super dramatic. It was super exciting. When Eddie came out, you're like, oh, this is actually kind of the sweetest thing I've ever seen. He's going to sacrifice himself for this guy.
And pull him out before the big explosion.
But
it didn't happen. Now,
and my whole thing is, well, you know, I keep going back to the don't do it or work around it, fix it. If that's a problem, what we just saw there, that's a problem. Now you solve that fucking problem. My whole thing, because everybody is trying to retcon this and trying to theorize how they're going to acknowledge it, like moving forward. You know, I mentioned like this is Kenny Omega's rig, so you know they're probably going to be like, Kenny Omega's pretty shit at making bombs, huh? Like they're going to do something like that.
Maybe
they
ignore it.
They won't. They've already said, like, we're going to talk about it. Like this is the big to do in wrestling right now.
How shitty this is.
This amazing pay-per-view that's going to be overshadowed by this shitty explosion spot. My pitch, if I knew like, we can't, Tony says we can't explode the ring because he's a fucking pussy. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to have the countdown like we saw. We're going to have Eddie come out and he's going to try to, you know, cut some wires. He's going to try to disarm it. He can't. He's going to throw his body into the rig and take an explosion bump that'll deactivate the bomb. Essentially a different sort of sacrifice spot, so you get the same reaction, and that way you save yourself from the ring doing what it did. Because the other explosion spots were pretty solid. There were a couple like misfires, but
way better than that.
That's your grand finale.
Your grand finale cannot be that.
And when it happened, like, I thought it was a gag. Like, once again, Kenny Omega pulling some Joker shit. Like when the flag comes out of the gun, like bang. Like I thought it was something like that.
It looked like that.
It did look like that.
That's how I would have. I mean, if I saw that as a fan, I would have started laughing right away. Like when I saw the sparklers go off. Like, how he got him. It didn't explode. It's just, and then Eddie Griffin gets up and looks around and goes, "Hey, what? That wasn't even an explosion." And then he runs back there after them because he's mad because he thought his friend was going to die.
That's going to be the worst part of this. Now, if it was just Moxley in the ring by himself and that weak explosion happened, like, we're fine. We can do that Kenny Omega thing all day, and it's fine. But Eddie Kingston being put in a coma from the sparklers, like, that's going to be hard to write around. That's what I'm curious about. How are we going to write around that?
Here's what I want to go back to. Tony Khan cannot use what did you think we were going to do? An exploding death match with an exploding ring? Yes, because that's what you said we were going to do. That would be like having a buried alive match and no one gets buried alive. And then the response is, well, what did you think we were going to do? Bury someone alive?
And it's so sad because they came through on everything else. The barbed wire stuff was awesome. The side explosions were very entertaining and filled with drama because, counter, who's going to get in? Oh, all that stuff. And then that, and people were so excited. Like the internet up until that point were like, this is one of the best shows. And then like 5 seconds later, this is one of the worst shows.
Yeah, when your main event, I mean, this wasn't the main event though, right? Wasn't this like the
No, it was definitely the main event.
Was it? Okay. So, man, that's how it ends. That's rough. Because anything good that happened, people are going to forget when you have this shit show thing. Because not even that because this is so bad, that's what they'll remember. If this was the third match and the main event was awesome, you basically mostly remember the main event. You remember Rock Austin. You remember the last match of the card is your big, this is what everyone's going to remember moment. You have other examples like, that take on a life of their own, like the ladder match or Savage and Steamboat and things like that. But you want them to go, you want the most memorable thing to be at the end because that's what people are naturally going to remember. So this is what they're going to remember the most.
Yep.
And it's not even like they would, some people would go out of their way to remember this and say how shitty it was. But I think that's just natural human reaction. Is you remember the ending of the movie or the show or the concert. That's why you play the best song at the end or the most anticipated song at the end of the concert. And everyone goes home remembering that. And this is what they're going to remember. Sparklers. You should have had little tanks. The little tanks that smoke go out there. Maybe some snakes in the ring. Just...
what would have been great? Do you remember the Dalton Fire Department had like a little like remote control ambulance guy?
No.
Or maybe it was like a little cop car. I think it was a fire truck, and it had like moving eyes, and it was like something for kids. And like if you could visit the fire department, like it was super cool. And I would have loved to have seen that little guy come out on that ramp, like, I'm here to put out the sparklers.
Oh man, maybe some pinwheels or something. I don't know.
Fucking Moxley lost a tooth for that. That's what I'd be furious about. I'd be like, we just did a hell of a thing. I'm hurt pretty bad, and it's all for nothing.
Well, they're alive, pal.
Because we got cheap. We got cheap in the end. And these guys wouldn't care. They explode them. Eddie Kingston wants to be exploded. That's why I'm sure they got him involved in the match. He loves that sort of thing.
I don't even think cheap. I don't think that's fair either. I wouldn't say they did it to be cheap. I think they were overly cautious, like way too cautious, overly safe. Because I can't imagine that FMW show had more money than Tony Khan. He's a billionaire. I think maybe he was just like, let's not go. I don't want anyone dying on my show. Well, you just don't have a death match.
You just need some. It's not even like that's not even the thing. Like the death and the explosion. You just need to fake it visually.
Yeah.
Like you just need the smoke. You need a shaky cam at that moment. That would have been acceptable.
Oh my goodness, that would have been great directing and production. If those explode, you get maybe a little bit of the flash like they had, but big plumes of smoke and maybe some soft debris, and maybe like rubber pellets or something fly out.
Some quote unquote glitching of the camera.
Yeah. A little static, powerful. And then the shaky camera. You do the camera shake. That would have sold it. Like maybe so bright it like overexposes the camera for a second. Have you ever watched like a concert video or something where something goes awry and there's an explosion and it gets so bright the camera gets like washed out for a second? Yeah. Do something like that. It's almost like we should be producing these shows.
Yeah. I agree. And it's crazy because AEW does a lot of like produced and almost overproduced stuff. Like their cinematic matches and backstage. Like they do some pretty cool stuff. And this seemed really underproduced. Like this is like, all right, get out this special camera for the ending part. Have the, we get the cutaway here. Like definitely a lot of moving parts. All they did was hit the wide cam, get a real good look at the shitty explosion. And that's it. Like that's what the call was. Like whoever their Kevin Dunn is. Whoo.
Yeah, he's Kevin Dunn, all right. He's done now. He's done, baby.
Horn.
See now, but Tony Khan defended it and said, well, what did you think we were going to do? That was kind of the plan. And that just makes it worse. Because you can't even fake blame someone else. I don't know. That was terrible. We're going to we'll figure this out. That looked awful. Someone didn't plan that right. But when he's like, yeah, that's exactly what we planned. And what did you think was supposed to happen?
Said it's going to be acknowledged Wednesday, hopefully in kayfabe. After the show ended, Moxley got on the mic and essentially apologized, which that's always a good look, isn't it?
Yeah, but the boss was happy about that one.
Gets out of the mic and goes, well, that sucked. So fucking sad. What a great card. What a great show. What a great match up until that point. And they didn't need to do it. I thought I was going to see the AEW logo in the corner, after the pinfall, and we're done here. Kenny Omega retains. No exploding ring this time because they finished beforehand, but they had to get their sparklers in. Why, Tony? Why?
Imagine that Chicago street fight. I don't know what they call it. That scaffold match with the Road Warriors and the Midnight Express, and no one takes a bump off that. Like, you can't have that up there and then nobody takes a bump off of it. That's what you're selling.
See, to me, if that you make it part of the rules that I thought they were, where like if the match isn't over by 30 minutes,
you're both gonna die.
You're both gonna die. Like that's like to me, that's better than just it's gonna happen anyway. It's all for naught. Whatever. Like no.
To me, it's more heelish. Like if Kenny Omega planned the match, this guy comes out, Eddie Gryffindor, Eddie Kingman, Eddie King Crab runs out there, dives on his frenemy, and then it's like a honk moment, and just like little ha flags pop out of those things.
With the Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah. And then he's like, what? And then it's an awkward moment, like, oh, I came out here to... Sort of like the awkward moment in a lot of movies where it's usually a romantic moment where someone... like there's a male character, and it's usually a male and a female character, and they don't like each other, and then they sort of... Something happens, and there's an explosion, and they're on top of each other, and then they're sort of like, and then... yeah, get off me. could have been a moment like that. Like he dives on this guy that he doesn't even really like, but he doesn't want to see him explode. And then it's just little ha gotcha flags, little smiley face flags pop out of the ring posts. And then he's laying on top of this other man that he doesn't like.
It's like, we proved that you're gay, Eddie. I'm Kenny Omega. I got you. Yeah, I'm surprised that they sold it that way. I'm surprised that the announcers continued to sell it the way they did. Like, and nobody was in their ear. Like Tony Khan, for example, like, oh shit, guys, oh my God, work around it. That obviously wasn't good. Stop going so hard.
Say that Kenny pranked him and it was a prank.
You're all looking, throw something at Eddie, please. Wake him up. Even during, like I said, Moxley apologizes to the fans afterwards. Eddie's still behind him, like laid out. He's still selling it. Oh my God.
Oh no, that's Eddie's still down there when he apologizes.
Eddie plays for keeps.
That's rough.
Eddie plays for keeps.
Ooh-wee.
So this is to me, this is like the biggest misstep for AEW, and it's just one spot, and nobody got hurt or anything. It's just a terrible look and everything was going so great. Like if the whole match was bad, I could be like, wait until you see the finish, it's even worse. But for everything to be so damn solid up until that point, it's like just double the amount of charges they had, triple the smoke, shake the cam, glitch the camera. We're done here.
Yeah, play a lightning sound effect. Do something.
Because the siren part was cool. Like 10 minutes, like when the 10-minute mark, like there was a scary siren, and like that turned my stomach. Like they did some really fun shit, and then some really funny shit at the very end.
Live or die, man.
Wrong. Wrestling. It's a good move.
Yeah, it was. It came up a lot of times in the franchise.
Well, he's like, I have catchphrase now. I grab noses. Has anybody done that in the show?
Yes.
Cobra Kai? Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, I want to say I'd have to go back. I think they probably done it at least 2 or 3 times.
I think so as well.
Cool. Chosen did it too, Daniel, in the last season. And I think Daniel did it to someone. Yeah.
Robbie did it. Well, they're making those shows still. Can't wait for that. Oh,
you know what I hate are the clickbait articles. So like I'll look through my Yahoo News email, and then you'll see the sponsored, you'll see the ad ones pop up, and it'll be like, these Netflix series are getting canceled, and they'll show a little screen grab of Cobra Kai.
To get you.
Yeah, I mean, they don't get me, but I'm sure they get somebody. Yeah. And then you click on it, and it's like Cobra Kai is not one of them.
Here are these shows you've never heard of that are going away. Going away like Lola Bunny's chest. Have you seen this controversy?
This is a controversy?
I guess so.
She used to have a chest?
She used to have a rack in Space Jam, and now in Space Jam 2, they sort of flattened her out, and that got people going because there's nothing else going on in the world. So yeah, let's animated bunnies boobs.
Is this like how the people are upset that quote unquote Dr. Seuss got canceled?
Something, yeah. It's
when really just these books that I've never heard of that had like overtly racist artwork in them aren't available anymore. The ones like none of the classic ones that we know are involved. I'd never heard of the ones that got so-called canceled. So now, we can't even have huge tits on this cartoon bunny. How am I going to beat off at the show with my kids?
Here, I linked it in Discord, and I'll put it in the episode as well for you, dear listeners. Not because of the boobs, but just look at how good the animation is in the first one compared to the second picture. It looks like dog shit. Look at the leg animation and how lazy they got. The second one.
I think they're just trying to make her less like a human female sexual figure in the second one. Like, let's make her look plain. Like a plain bunny.
See, and because of that, her hips and rear sort of, I guess, look bigger. So I'm surprised they're not like, they're making butts. They're making sexualized butts with these bunnies. It's bunny butts. So, but no, they focused on the lack of chest, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just the neckbeards who are just like, hey.
Yeah, I almost don't even notice the chest part. Like,
never would have noticed in a million and 5 years.
It doesn't,
like,
honestly, in the first picture, it doesn't look, it's not prominent. What's more prominent is she has like human, like hentai chick legs. And in the second one, they look more like, a generic cartoon character. Why do people got to get upset about the stupidest shit?
Because.
And it's here. This is a perfect example. It's a perfect example. People are going to claim that liberals got all mad, so they changed her. When really, they just used common sense and just made the bunny look different because it's 2021 now and we've changed. But no, she got canceled. Her chest got canceled. Her thick thighs, her Chun-Li-like legs got canceled away from us. Neckbeards.
It's what we have. I mean, to be fair, well, not to be fair, I take that sentence back. But like Lola Bunny was a costume at like Halloween stores, because it was like a sexual thing then, and it's been ever since. And I guess right now they're kind of putting a halt on that.
Well, when you think about
it, pervs are going to be very upset.
It never should have been.
No,
it's a child's character. But you look at these
people
Pixar
still
moms,
do it.
Jesus.
I'm going to be Ariel for Mermaid just so I can, show these shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that shoulder, mate.
Shoulders. Ruining the world. Good Lord. Cartoon rabbit. How am I going to beat off to this cartoon rabbit now? Just go on Reddit. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Jim, did you get a chance to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League cut? This is 6.5 hours extended directors.
Yeah, get a chance. It's an interesting way you say it. I mean, I guess I've had a lot of chances to watch these movies, and I just don't. So, no, I didn't catch it. I kept seeing like Instagram ads for it with Ben Affleck, like, I need warriors or something. But no, I didn't get a chance.
You, warrior.
I did.
Give me that scene.
Warrior.
I need you, warrior.
Why did you suck that dick? I didn't get a chance to see it. I've only seen Man of Steel and about Batman v Superman is about 3.5 hours long. So I've seen about a quarter of that movie and Man of Steel, and that's it.
That's where I'm at. I've seen a little bit of the Justice League as well, about the same amount as Batman v Superman. I thought they sucked. I thought Justice League was bad, and when they were like, "Well, now we're gonna get the Zack Snyder cut. It's gonna be longer."
Oh,
it's like,
great.
What?
This terrible movie is gonna be twice as long.
You know that Joker everyone hates? We're gonna have more of that. Oh my god.
Oh, is he in that?
He's got an extra scene or two with Batman or something, of course, or Superman. Maybe it's even Superman. But yeah, they had another scene or two with Joker and this and that, and it doesn't matter. Like, the stew's done. Like, it's ruined. There's no fixing this. You're just wasting money and time and effort. And apparently, and some people liked it, like, hey, it's not too bad. Warner Brothers executives were not one of those people. They were not in that category. According to WeGotThisCovered.com, the execs were
okay,
reportedly not impressed with Snyder's Justice League. No shit. Like, they were like, the amount of money we just poured into this,
guys,
this is the product,
guys. Here,
it's just longer.
Listen, give me some more money. I'll show you what this really was supposed to be. And then you actually give him more money. And then now what?
Al Snow in here. What's a mark?
Warner Brothers. I would actually give him the money just to have him finish it and it be bad, and then me look him in the eye and go, now what?
Tell me another one.
Yeah, what do you do now? Make me laugh. You tell me a joke. Why did you say that name?
Why don't you tell me, Snyder? If you're such a filmmaker.
So are there some easily describable, oh, this is different, this is different, the tone of this is completely different? Or no, is it just added? Sure. It's just shit that they couldn't make it into the original cut.
No, because I think with this one, what happened?
Is this the one Joss Whedon took over?
Yes. So I think Snyder's kids or somebody got really sick, and Snyder had to bail for family reasons, which is understandable. So they brought in Joss Whedon, Mr. Dialogue, Mr. Feminist himself.
Mr. Dialogue. I was watching Avengers again, not like recently, a week or so ago, and I'm like, man, there's some bad dialogue in Avengers.
And they didn't like that version of it, so they were kind of blaming Joss Whedon. Maybe they were kind of getting in front of the Me Too stuff that was about to be levied towards Mr. Whedon and his estate. But yeah, they both sucked. Like, it was like I said, the stew is ruined. Stop it. Stop waiting to make a whole different movie. Start from scratch if you want to, but there was no fixing that movie. Oh, gee.
Did you see the original cut?
All over again. No, that's the one that I've seen, like most of. I haven't watched a second of the new one, and I'll give it a shot. It's not going to fix it. 4-hour movie, Jim. Now, it's fucking 4 hours.
That's very Zack Snyder-esque. You would think, though, well, what does this do? Does this just prove that the Avengers was cool because the other movies that built it were cool, and that it really isn't even close to the best one of any of them? Like, the two worst Avengers movies are the two Joss Whedon ones.
That's true.
As much as I loved the first Avengers, like, as an experience, seeing this all culminate, but if that was the only one, you're like, yeah, it's okay. Because, like, what you remember, it's like more, it's sort of like the Dark Knight Rises, where we talked about every time you see it, it's worse. The dialogue and shit in Avengers, every time I see it, I'm like, an adult wrote this? Barely. Especially coming off of Iron Man and, you know, even Captain America, you know, coming off some of the tone in those movies. The Avengers just was like there's just like, it's like awkward. Like, some of the interplay is just awkward. Like, the lines, they don't seem right. There's still some humor. Like, there's still, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, there's like a scene first scene with Loki in Germany where he's like, is not this easier? Is this not your natural state? Like, did he try to make it sound cooler by saying not in the wrong spot first? And every time I see it, I catch more and more of those things. And I'm like, let's see the Hulk. Give me the Hulk.
Yeah.
So you would think, okay, my whole point, I got off on a tangent. My whole point was, oh shit, how are we going to make this big superhero cum blast fest with everyone going off at once and the big teams all together? Who can we get? Who's a big team superhero movie that made $280 trillion? I guess we get Joss Whedon. And then it sucks. So you're like, oh shit, well maybe he wasn't the one that made Avengers awesome. Maybe it was just inevitably, you know, that many people were going to fucking see that movie.
I mean, I don't think it mattered who you got in there. Oh, they're bringing in Steven Spielberg to finish Justice League. I'm sorry, Steve. It's not going to work out.
Well, Steve would have said, here's what we're going to do. Stop production. I'm going to get someone to write a script. And I'm going to recast the whole movie. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was Steven Spielberg. Am I not Steven Spielberg? Do you want me to do this or not?
Have I raped anyone? No. We're going to do the movie my way. The Spielberg way.
I'm starting to feel that there's a part for Kate Capshaw here somewhere. I'll figure it out.
Harrison Ford a little over here, I think.
Get off my planet.
Speaking of Steven Spielberg, he left Indiana Jones 5 because it wasn't coming together. So they've been talking about this Indiana Jones movie for a while, and Spielberg was attached, and then he wasn't attached. And apparently that's why David Coop, screenwriter, said, I tried a couple different versions with Steven, and they all had some good stuff about them, and they all had some stuff that didn't work, which, happens. But it was just very hard to have everybody come together and have all the elements. Steven, Harrison, the script, and Disney come together at once, and it didn't. So that's what screenwriter David Coop said.
And Disney. What do you
Spielberg he fucking bailed. That's hilarious.
How much do you put into the and Disney?
I put a lot into the and Disney. Because Spielberg, is family friendly as he is, like he still wants to have some fun and have a little grit, some teeth in those jaws with his TMJ.
Hey, that's what I got.
And they wouldn't let him, I feel. So he said, you know what? I could do anything else. So bye. Never good when your God tier director abandons the project.
Yeah, normally that would make me mad. And I'm not saying it's going to be better without Steven Spielberg by any stretch. But let's not forget, they had the entire original band together for Indiana Jones 4, and that didn't turn out too hot.
So I didn't see this snippet. This is also from WeGotThisCovered.com.
I love that URL. That is a great name.
After working on the script for so long and getting nowhere, screenwriter Coop also departed the project.
Wow.
Saying, when James Mangold came in and Steven stepped out, that was a pretty logical breaking point. It's a gracious time to step out the door because I think the last thing a new director wants is the old director's writer. I mean, that's a drag. The last thing you need is some guy sitting around with his arms folded saying, well, the way Steven would have done it is... I had one nice friendly conversation with the guy, and then I'm sure he wanted to be able to move on anyway. Everybody was pretty polite, I thought. So Coop was like, you're leaving, Steven? Good. Keep that door open.
I'll be right there. You. Hold on. Let me just gather up my stuff here. I'll be right up.
Start the car, Steven.
Well, I mean, what did they say over at Don't You Worry About That? We're going to talk about this right now.org.
We'll see. We'll have to see what the follow-up is.
We're going to see what's going on with this movie.com.
Indy 5 is scheduled for release in July 2022. And that's that. We'll see.
If you're Harrison Ford, what the fuck do you give? Why are you still there? You can't. Don't tell me it's for the money. That man ain't needed a nickel in a long time. And now you're telling me, Steve, you're not even going to be in another Steven Spielberg movie?
Yeah. This is like when they did Home Alone 3, and there was something was a bit off here.
What's wrong here?
I mean, Indy 4 was kind of sad. He was older. He was in his, I think his 60s even at that point. Yep. Like, what are we doing? We don't need Indy 5 unless you're going to do Mutt stuff, which do we need to do that, Tony Khan? Let's start from the beginning, Tony. Do we need to even do this?
Yeah, what is it, Mutt the movie?
Watch a Mutt movie if you told me we're making a Mutt movie and the trailer looked good and it had some it looked like Uncharted sort of thing. I was like, oh shit, maybe I'll watch it.
Adventures
although
of
I think he's problematic too. Everybody's a jerk. Everybody's bad.
Yeah, but he's made some good movies. He had a last couple real good ones now, so I think
he bought some goodwill.
Yeah, I think that would be like you'd want Mutt the movie at this point. I think hot off the tail, hot off the heels, hot off the balls of,
hot off the presses,
hot off the ass crack of part 4. I don't think anyone was clamoring for Mutt the movie, but now that he's done, what was it, Honey Boy? What's the other one he did? Like right around that time, He did like these two pretty highly critically acclaimed deals. And it's like, yeah, Mutt the
war
movie.
Yeah.
Get that Mutt movie going.
Steven Spielberg directs that one.
Yeah, Mutt the movie. It's going to be great. I love it.
Because Indiana Jones is too fucking old.
Yeah, just let it. God damn, they rode off into the sunset. You're done here. I think we're done here, bro.
What if they follow up like immediately after, like it takes place like on the steps of the church, that's where we open? No, I love that. I love that shit. That's that Halloween 2 shit I love. Although he'd look like 20 years older.
Yeah.
It's like, why? A lot happened since you went to the washroom, Indy.
Nazis. I hate these guys. What if it happens now? Indiana Jones is like 143 years old and he's fighting the Proud Boys.
That we're gonna edit that out because that's gonna be our pitch.
Get off
when they fire Mangold and the new guy. We're gonna step in like, look, he's fighting Proud Boys now. Okay, go on. That's it. Mutt is on the fence of being a Proud Boy. He's very torn politically, and Indy has to save him.
Yeah, Mutt is 73 years old. And Indy is 162. But because he touched the crystal skull, he hasn't died. It's like some Captain America shit. Like, well, he was frozen in time. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I watched. So I'll give you an update. We've been watching all the Marvel movies, Jack and I. So we got to Avengers, and then we did Iron Man 3. He liked it. I love it. Thor 2, meh. And then my favorite.
Thor
2's meh.
Which one's Thor 2?
Right, exactly. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah. Thor 2 is garbage.
Yeah, it's a lot of Asgard. Very dimly lit.
Yeah.
Sort of boring.
I remember
dreary, like everything's gray.
I was mad watching that movie.
Yeah. It's not great. But then my favorite of all of the Marvel movies, Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, is my favorite Marvel movie. We got to watch that one. And I'm like, God, this is so much better than the Avengers. It's not even close. The writing, the humor is more natural. The action scenes are so fun. It's like a James Bond type fight scenes and stuff. It's not just like giant alien laser blasters.
Yeah.
It's so good. The twists and turns, and you don't know who the bad guys are. And I could remember seeing that by myself for the first time in the theater. It was like a Saturday morning. I had a Blackened show that night. So Chris and Teddy spent the night at her parents' house. And that happened. There was a couple movies around that time where I would go see them first in the morning by myself. And then we'd all see them together as a family after that. And that was one of them. And I'm watching it and I'm just like, God damn, this movie's so fucking good. And I still feel that way every time I see it.
It's a good one. It's just not a comic book movie. That's why I think it kind of goes under the radar a little bit. People overall still acknowledge that it's good.
Oh, it's so good.
And I like that it's different. Kind of like Ant-Man, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. I was like, oh, this is like the comedy version of these movies. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it has its own world. It's not a lot of... Like, the most super heroic person in it is Captain America, and he's a bad motherfucker. Like, he takes down a Quinjet with his shield and a motorcycle, and it's awesome. And it's like one of the coolest scenes.
They got that from Die Hard, Independence Day, or whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't know.
When John McClane, he's on the bike, he does the ramp, and he takes down the chopper. I'm just saying, John McClane is Captain America.
I think I'm going to give the edge to Cap on that one. But there's no, like, when you're Captain America and you're fighting alongside Thor and Hulk, you're like, I think they're doing most of the work here. I'm doing everything I can, but they're doing most of the work. That's why it was so cool when he gets the hammer. Oh my God, I got goosebumps at the theater when he's spinning that fucking hammer around. Woo! He's worthy. That some bitch is worthy. So yeah, we got to watch that, and Jack liked it. He was getting lost in parts,
Yeah,
like this kid doesn't care about when they were in Nicaragua or whatever the fuck, and Robert Redford got rescued, and they're telling stories about Nick Fury's grandpa. I'm like, okay, we're losing him here. Watch, the Winter Soldier's gonna do a cool thing. He's gonna catch his shield. Bucky, and he didn't remember who the fuck Bucky was. And I'm like, yeah, he wasn't gonna remember, was he?
Well, the arm helps.
He doesn't have the arm in Captain America, though.
Damn.
Like when he takes the mask off and it's like, oh, it's Bucky. He's like, who's Bucky? I'm like, and then the movie helps me and it shows me a little flashback of Bucky falling out of the train. And he's like, oh, I remember that now. I was like, God, thanks, movie. Shit.
See?
It's almost like no one else was going to remember Bucky but me either.
Well, they knew, they read the room and said, we need to explain some things. We'll just do it with an old-fashioned flashback.
Flashback.
What
about that insurance? Flashback.
Jesus. On that note, please check out our patreon.com/notlikethis. Jim, I've just acquired the movie that we are going to do for the next one. So let's get that going. I'm very excited about it. Follow us on the facebook.com/notlikeThisPodcast. I will post the Deathmatch videos. I will post the little Lola Bunny thing that we were looking at, just so you frame of reference. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. I'm Tony Khan.
And I'm Mutt.